All right, hey guys, welcome back to another Field to Food video. This one is actually going over Kyle Thompson's and his dad's property, to which they built up over the past couple of years. That used to be a field and then got built into this great whitetail mecca. And I'm not going to talk too much a whole lot about it because I was kind of the squirrel going after the nuts, trying to learn as much as I can from you and your family. And so just tell me what you guys did real quick.
Well, it started at the front. We believe it was an old Christmas tree farm.
Okay.
And it was so thick, there wasn't any light coming in. The ground was nothing, no ground growth at all.
Yeah.
So at the front, we started by limbing up the trees as tall as we could reach.
Yeah.
And taking out the dead ones to promote openings in the canopy to let light in, and you saw it, and everyone else will see it too, how the ground growth is predominantly really starting to come back.
Yeah.
There was been a little bit of transplanting, some native, brush and stuff in there.
It looks great in there.
In time, it'll look a lot better.
So you went from seeing, prior to this work, how many deer a season?
I mean,
on camera or in person?
In person, a good year was 10, 15.
And now you're seeing what?
We're like seeing, 40 plus.
Okay.
But
in a week?
No, that's, an average of, 15 to 20 sets.
Okay.
I'm somewhere in between. You're seeing 2 to 3 deer per set.
All right, and this took you just a couple years to do. And the big thing that I want to take away from this and provide for you guys is that there are 2 sections of this video. It's going to be the wood section, and it's going to be the food plot section. I was in awe when I was going through the wood section. I thought I was going to be there for the food plots. So I'm going to start you guys off exactly where I was, the POV of me holding the camera, Kyle and his dad, Todd, talking about this land. And let me tell you guys, this stuff was absolutely awesome.
Well, I know Kyle told you about this. At one point in time, the people that lived here planted all these spruces for Christmas trees. I think that was about 1980. I think there was close to 180, 200 of them in here.
Just in this
little area. About 3 years ago, it was about a 3-year process, just started thinning them out. I started getting it out. I want to get more light down in here. I want this to look like that over there. Thick, brushy. And so yeah, we thinned out the spruces. Also took out probably 15 maples. Maples, cherries.
All that area.
Yeah, cleaned all that out to get more sunlight in here. Hopefully.
Were you looking for a specific hardwood growth when you cleared everything out?
Yeah, I want to get more oaks.
Oaks.
So you're going to see here, I'm trying to speed nature up by putting oaks in, because the natural progression of a woods is your faster growing softwood trees will come through first. From looking at aerial photographs of this place, 1970, this was a field.
Okay.
All of this was field. This is how woods progress. When you let that field go, you'll get your maples, tulips, cherry trees. Your faster growing, softer woods will take over. They grow fast, but they don't have a long lifespan.
All right.
So as they start to die off, then your harder woods come in, your oaks, beeches, hickories. So what I did was, like I said, I'm trying to speed it up a little bit by introducing more oaks and getting them in here quicker. And like I said, we're opening this up to get more ground, to just get more underbrush to come up.
Yeah. And
make this thick, and so they, the deer again feel a lot more comfortable in here.
Have you guys done any burns?
No.
No
burns. Brush piles. Burns a few brush piles.
Oh, I'm sure. All the work you've done, you got a couple.
So yeah, like I said, you can see a lot of the spruces I took down, and we just put a brush row.
All kinds of stumps everywhere still.
Yeah. Did the brush row. Again, it gives a little bit of a screen, but a lot of other animals love that. The birds and squirrels.
Squirrels will run through it.
Yeah, they love all that stuff. Good place for them to hide. So, but yeah, this was about a 3-year job. It took me about 3 years.
Yeah, I think we started in the winter of 20 or 21.
Something like that.
We started with limbing them all up.
Yeah, limbing them up, getting the dead ones out, and then just taking out all the small ones. And then, so the spruces that are left should do a lot better now. They got a lot more room to grow. But
Are you thinking about any thermal cover with some of these pine trees and spruces and whatnot, or are you just more satisfied with having some of this
Yeah, I want that.
Okay.
I want the thickness in here.
It just always equates to me to just the deer feel safer.
Yeah.
They feel more relaxed when they're moving through.
Yeah. Just gives them a little more cover. So yeah, then
Because there was a point in time you could see straight up that hillside like it was nothing, all the way up to the top of the hill where the first food plot's at. You could just, from right now.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can
it was
see
wide open. Pretty open through there.
What was the years span in between it being open to what it looks like now?
Probably 5.
5 years.
About 5 years, and that was just me selectively taking certain trees out just to poke holes in a canopy.
Now, were you concerned about what kind of undergrowth you were going to have, like a certain vegetation? You just wanted growth.
Something. Yeah,
Okay.
Something. There's a lot of stuff in there I don't want, like tulip trees and stuff like that. But right now I'm going to leave them because it's just cover.
Yeah.
Cover for them.
And it does work good because the neighbor, his whole property is pretty much a field.
Is it?
Yeah, it's wide open.
Yeah.
I've had deer come across that field where they almost sprint across there and they hit the fence and they just, you can see the body language change to just calm.
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, a couple of years ago then I cleared all this out. I'm kind of lucky because I got access to really cool machines to do shit.
Fair.
So,
Fair.
yeah, we came in and we feconned this. This was all just brush, treetops, whatever you want. It is basically it's a big machine that just grinds everything up and turns it to dirt. So we did this area, and I finished taking a few more trees out, and I had these bur oaks growing from seedlings, and I put them in early February this year.
You grew them in pots for what, a year?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, with the oaks, are you trying to diversify the oaks so you're getting a different drop throughout different times of the year?
No.
No?
There's just not a lot of oaks here yet. We got a
lot of reds. We got a lot of reds at the back.
We got what, 1 or 2 whites?
Two whites, that's it. There's a lot more red oaks in the property next door. But again, like I said, most of this property was field 50 plus years ago.
Yeah.
And like I said, this is a progression of the woods. And even now, I mean, it's mostly red and silver maple. But even now, as we walk back there, you'll see there's red oaks, yay tall, and they're starting to come.
Yeah.
Eventually, they'll take this over, which is fine.
I was surprised how much growth those bur oaks put on.
Yeah, they're happy there.
So I know, like, when some guys see something like this, you're like, well, it's good for deer, but it's too thick to shoot through. Is that something you guys are concerned about?
We mostly bow hunt, so no.
Yeah.
And most of the time we're setting up stands for 20 yards and in.
Yeah. So I'd rather have the thick cover. I'd rather, like I said, when they come in here, yeah, it's only 9 acres, and we're not going to keep them here. But when they're here, I want them to hang out for a while.
Yeah.
I want them to stick around.
When my wife and I first started hunting together, and she's never hunted before, I always told her, find thick, find deer, which is very true, but she didn't realize just what kind of thick stuff we were going to have to walk through and set up in.
There's multiple different versions of thick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, eventually, I think him and I were just talking about this last weekend. I think eventually we're going to turn this into another food plot.
We're kind of leaning towards something that they like
More
to eat in the
towards
winter.
Yeah.
Because the two we have now, they're predominantly fall.
Yeah.
Early season going in through November. But we talked about having something here that they like to eat through, have something to eat throughout the winter. So
Yeah.
then I don't know if we were still thinking about putting a couple apple trees over on the other side or not.
I don't know yet. I got to clear more trees out.
Yeah.
Before I do that. And so, I don't need the wood right now, so I don't want to take any more down.
I think you're squared away on wood.
Yeah, for a while. But
in case you wondered, that was in the front yard and they bought the house.
Was it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm a believer in all, but I don't need a 7-foot white cross in the front yard.
We're not really sure how to get rid of it.
I wouldn't burn it.
Yep.
No, see, that's what everybody says. Don't burn it.
Wouldn't burn that one.
Oh, you're not gonna put that in the video, are you, Dane?
I feel like I'm going to have to do very little editing for this.
We can turn it up a notch, man. So, like I said, like that tree right there, a lot of people would see that and go, that's a 100-year-old tree.
what, 40 years old, 50
maybe
years old?
60.
Yeah.
That's a silver maple. Those are fast growers. They take off real quick. That's not a very old tree at all. Same with this one too.
So you're doing a lot for deer, obviously. Like I'd say everything that you've done back here so far is just about for good wildlife management and habitat. Is there a certain point of the year that you say we're not going back there anymore? We want to make sure that the deer feel safe and it's human
Usually
free.
right before bow season starts, we
usually
really back off.
We don't really do a whole lot of like early season squirrel hunting anyway, just because it's buggy.
Too thick, you can't see
It's
them.
too
They're
thick.
on the ground, yeah.
So usually right around September. Like, the only time they really come back here is to check cameras.
Check cameras, yeah.
And it seems to work.
Yeah.
Staying out.
Yeah.
Did you guys walk in or do you ride in?
We walk in.
Walk
Yeah,
in.
we'll walk in. Yeah, it's my place is like a quarter mile deep,
Okay.
so it's not that bad of a walk.
Yeah.
Literally, the stand I hunt is the farthest stand, and it's
Yeah.
just all the way to the back, and then you walk over that next property, and it's right on the corner.
Yep.
And I think I mapped it out. It's still under half a mile.
Yeah.
It's not a bad walk. Only time we really ride in is when we.
It's a lot of work to get them.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw it. I think we took over 100 trees out, and you saw how small that area was. I mean, they were dense. I mean, every 3 foot there was a. It was all Norway spruces too, but it was so dense. You only really green on them was the top 10 feet.
Mm-hmm.
They were so dense there was no light coming in. But now, like you saw it, we noticed it too. Since we did all that clear cutting, they're actually starting to promote new growth again.
Yeah, it looks phenomenal in there. Like,
my entire property.
if Casey and I were out scouting somewhere, like that'd be 100%. I'm like, no, we're gonna set up right here.
You can see all the stumps, how many I took out, and open them up, more airflow, everything coming through.
It used to be a complete barrier. I used
Oh
to.
yeah.
If I was hunting in the morning and I was just up there, I mean that food plot's probably what, 200 yards,
Not even. Not
and
even.
I would get to about here and realize, oh, Dad's cutting the grass. I couldn't hear it. Before that, it was just a barrier of sound.
Really?
Oh god, it was dark.
It was dark, and it almost like I would be willing to say it's probably a 15-degree temperature drop as soon as you hit them spruce trees.
Oh yeah, good 10 degree. Yeah, yeah.
And it was dark in there. I mean, you didn't have a flashlight. Me and Uncle Tim, we got kind of backtracked in there a couple years ago.
Yeah.
He was like, "You need a flashlight?" "Nah, we're good." Made it about 5 feet in, hitting stuff. Look over, and Tim's just like this. He's like, "Where the hell are we?"
But see, like that area there, that's the first side I did. That's about 2 years worth of just nature
You
taking over.
did move some spice
Yeah, I
bush
put
in
some
there.
spice bushes in there, but so much of the other stuff has just been for 2 years. And before there
Especially
was
along
just
the road.
nothing. It was just all spruce needles.
I'm assuming you're not cutting this at all, but I'm looking at this orange jewelry right here, and you already have deer browsing on it.
Oh, that?
Yeah.
That might have been from the mower too.
Is it? Okay. I mean,
I mowed the roads last week. They could be browsing. I don't know.
Came back. I think you mowed this right here.
Yeah, I
right?
mowed that the other day.
yeah, that all looks cut down, but even unless you mowed this over here as well, that's orange jewelweed that's being eaten.
Yeah, that would have been browsed. Yep, I wouldn't have done that. Nope. So, yeah, they got a pretty good trail. Comes right through here.
Which makes a lot of sense. I mean, you got a hard transition and a soft transition right against each other. Of course, they're going to use that.
Yeah. Yep.
But the plan is like we did the brush walls.
Mm-hmm.
You saw them. As those start to decay, the ground growth will take over. So when everything, at some point in time, they're all going to be the same. So then, okay, we don't care about that brush wall anymore. And then that's when the ground cover will start to overtake what we've done.
Yeah.
By hand. Nature will take its course.
Oh, it just looks so good in there.
A lot of work, and especially the long-term plan with all the oaks we put in. Well, I can't say we. My dad did. My dad's done 80-90% of that.
So,
Because it's like he has more time off work. He lives there, obviously, and then he'll just randomly call me. I'm like, "What's up?" He's like, "I did all this work today." I'm like, "Why didn't you call?" He's like, "I don't know." I'm like, I had to tell him, I'm coming over. And we're gonna plan a food plot. Well, I got it. I was like, no, I need to learn this because one day you're not going to be here to tell me how to plant food plots. So I need to learn this. You need to tell me now.
Like right through here. What, 5 years ago? Yeah, you could see the neighbor's field.
Like right now, you could.
Yeah. And like I said, it's still thick. It needs thinned a little bit more.
Even through here, how much like you used to be able to see through that.
Yeah.
Now that's thickened up a lot.
So even with the canopy, now with our summer foliage, you can see that it's still pretty covered.
Yep.
And this growth was just promoted from the stuff that you took out, despite this thicker canopy.
Yep, just poking holes, getting holes in the canopies to let light in, and then. But again, you know, the trees are going to know, hey, I got more room.
Yeah.
And they're going to hurry up and fill it up.
Spread out. Yeah.
Like we were just talking about, I got to do
Like
I
was, it should have clicked, but it didn't. When he showed up, he had a Davey's Tree shirt on, and I was like, "What does this guy do for work? How does he know so much about this stuff?" And I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, he's wearing a Davey Tree shirt. Like this is his thing.
Yeah,
that makes so much sense."
That's what he said. He goes, I get a lot of access to some pretty cool equipment.
I know. And he said that, and it went right over my head because I hadn't looked at his shirt yet.
Yeah.
Like, I just wanted to make sure that I met him and I was being respectful to you guys' property. And then, like, I don't know, when we were walking back to that first food plot, I looked at his shirt and I was like, oh, okay, gotcha. Now this all makes sense.
Like, his lawn looks great. Like, that's not stuff you buy at the store. Like, he's like, I'm going to mix a little extra and go home for a little bit. Like, did you notice, too? There were absolutely no bugs until we hit the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, everything was great.
Oh, yeah. That's Davey.
So I knew that I was in for education when we got there, and his four-wheeler trails had 2-track trails of a different kind of mulch to where his tires would go across the property. I was like, oh, this guy knows something. I'm going to learn today. It was cool.
He's wood chipped pretty much half of the property on the main road.
Yeah.
He's like, it gets too wet. I'm like, that's fair. Like, first it was just like, do the washouts, and it was, I'm doing the whole thing. I'm like, all right, man.
So and even the house and the garden and everything was just manicured perfectly. I'm like, if someone's going to take this much care on the outside of his street front property, like what he likes to do deer hunting wise, that's going to be real good. Thank you again so much for inviting me, because that was something to definitely absorb. Do you find specific bedding areas on this property, or because it is thick enough?
Further back.
And then down over into the edge of the swamp, over into Rollips, they'll bed right there. And then every now and then back where I hunt on the neighbors, they'll bed down there. I'll walk in and bump them out.
I think they mainly like 2 properties over because it's a thick swamp. I think they just love being over there.
Yeah.
And there's so many times you'll see at this first food plot, we'll tell you how many times we sit there and we watch deer just come right out of there, right across the neighbor's field and right into us. So, which is kind of cool.
All right, so that's the work that you guys did with the woods. Again, it was only 9 acres, and the growth that they have in there now is just light years beyond what it used to be 3-5 years ago.
Yeah.
We were talking about it afterwards. Some of the spruce and the pines in the very front of the property does provide a lot of thermal cover for the deer, but what you guys have now compared to what it used to be is it's something that you guys get to enjoy not only during season but year round. So
absolutely.
If this is something that you guys are interested in doing, leave a comment. We'll get back to you. I probably won't be the one who answers, because I was the one who was showing up with questions, but I will third party the answers back to you guys. So thanks for watching. Follow for part 2 so you guys can see the food plots.